The trailer for Scary Movie has just been released, and it's ultra-packed with references to horror cinema. Plus, we have the epic return of several legends from the first movies. That's why today on Charlietales, we will analyze the trailer scene by scene, and I will show you all the references you need to know. Ready? Let's get to it then. The trailer begins on a subway train where several horror movie legends appear. But first of all, the subway is a reference to a scene from Scream 6. This was one of the best scenes in that entire movie. Starting with the references, here is Jason Voorhees from the iconic Friday the 13th franchise. Behind him we can see a clown who appears to be Pennywise. This is the Tim Curry version from the 90s series. On this side is Leatherface, the legendary butcher from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This character is a direct parody of the Heart Eyes Killer, the murderer from the movie Hard Eyes, released in February 2025. One of the new protagonists of the saga appears. She is Day Meeks. From her last name, we understand that she is related to the original protagonists. Most will remember Shorty or Brenda. She would have to be a niece or something similar. Behind we can see a totally random Muslim. I don't think he represents any particular villain, but he could be a reference to the explosive stereotype of Muslims. Over here is the doll Megan, and we see her dancing just like she did in her movies. She throws herself toward Day, but as she moves forward, we see many references. Behind Megan we can see a masked man with a construction pickaxe. This is Harry Warden, the villain from the 2009 film My Bloody Valentine. For a few seconds we can see behind a man dressed in black with a hat. This is the iconic killer from the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer. To the right of Megan, we see a man in a black suit with a white head. This is Pinhead, the leader of the Cenobites from the Hellraiser saga. In his hand, he is even holding the cube, known as the Lament configuration. On the right, we can see the legendary Chucky, the killer doll. This Chucky is huge, so we can understand that it's just a person in costume. Everyone in the train car is just people going to a Halloween party. They are not the real monsters. Standing in the doorway, we can appreciate a man with a white puppet mask. He is dressed as the Jigsaw puppet from the movie Saw. For a second, the iconic Michael Myers also appears, the villain of the Halloween saga. Megan takes off the mask, and it is the killer from the movie Scream. Then he stabs Day. A woman screams that she was stabbed, but Day complains because they didn't call her by her correct pronouns. This, of course, is a parody of inclusive language. We see the epic return of Shorty and his friends. As we can notice, the killer Ghostface poses next to them. Therefore, in this movie, they will continue being friends. Let's remember that in the classic movies, Ghostface became friends with Shorty, and now they are respecting that canon. A police officer talks with a teenager. This police officer is played by Lachlan Monroe, one of the most iconic actors of the franchise. He died in the first movie of the saga, but now he is back. Ghostface eliminates a girl wearing braids and says to her, "Goodbye, Tuesday." Of course, she is a parody of Jenna Ortega, who starred in the latest Scream movies. Let's remember that she also stars in the Netflix series Wednesday. We move to a cabin where we see the awesome return of Cindy, played by Anna Faris. She has messy yellow hair. This is a parody of Jamie Lee Curtis in the new Halloween trilogy. In those movies, the protagonist has this disastrous appearance and lives isolated in a cabin with the desire to catch Michael Myers. Two new characters appear on scene. The girl calls Cindy Mom, so we assume that both are her children and will be important in the new story. We see Brenda Meeks back, and she is wearing a Ma costume from the horror movie released in 2019. She hugs Cindy, and they make a joke about racism. A trio of Caucasian guys appears with intentions of entering the house. They are a reference to Sinners. That movie was about a bar of African American people that is attacked by vampires. The iconic Ray appears on scene making one of his classic gay comments. Let's remember that in the first movies, he made these kinds of jokes all the time. Cindy faces Ghostface using some dildos, but if we pay attention, we will notice that there are 3 Ghostface in total. Their identities are a mystery, but in this movie, Cindy will face 3 killers, when normally there are usually 2 or 1. Shorty sinks into a couch in what appears to be a parody of the movie Get Out. One of the Ghostface is the one who gives the order for him to be absorbed. We have the return of Officer Doofy from Scary Movie 1. In the first movie, he surprised everyone by revealing himself as the great villain of the story, the criminal mastermind behind all the events of the film. We also have the return of Gail Hailstorm. She is the sensationalist reporter from the first Scary Movie, and as we can notice, she is still obsessed with Doofy in a rather disturbing way. Here is another big return. Bobby Prince was one of the killers from the first movie. It's impossible for anyone not to recognize him. Apparently, he is tormenting Cindy, so she hits him. In the scene, Cindy yells at him to stop smiling. Bobby is referencing the 2022 movie Smile. In that story, the characters are cursed by a demon that forces them to smile before taking their own lives. We see some children running at night with their arms open. This is a reference to the movie The Hour of Disappearance. In that story, many children are bewitched by a woman and run in an identical way. Shorty says his iconic line, "Run, bitch, run!" This line became legendary in Scary Movie 1. In this scene, we see the return of Chris Elliott. We all remember him from Scary Movie 2, where he played a butler with a deformed hand. Now he has returned and keeps his special little hand. This time Chris Elliott does not return as the butler, but instead he brings a white costume that is a reference to Longlegs, the monstrous criminal from the movie of the same name. For those who haven't seen it, I recommend it. The villain is played by Nicolas Cage. We move to a white room, where one of the killers injects a woman with something. This is a reference to the movie The Substance. In that story, they told us how a fading celebrity injects herself with an experimental serum to generate a younger and more perfect version of herself. The trailer ends with the epic appearance of Art, the clown from Terrifier, and he is parodying the mall scene from the third movie. The children receive human body parts as gifts, but the parents don't even notice. This is a parody of the negligence of many parents of this generation who live consumed by technology. That's why they don't take their faces off their cell phones. By the way, I was sure that this Art is played by the actor David Howard Thornton, who portrays him in the original movies, but that is not the case. The director of the Terrifier saga, Damien Leone, recently confirmed on Twitter that it is not the same actor. However, in the line we have other Terrifier cameos. For example, this woman is Felissa Rose, who played the school principal in Terrifier 2. Additionally, she is a super recognized actress in the horror world. She has appeared in more than 200 movies since 1983. Over here we have another Terrifier actor, Michael Levy, who appeared in the first two movies. In Terrifier 1, he played the exterminator, who was eliminated by Art. And in the second movie, he acted as a club DJ. The trailer ends with a scene in a hospital dining room. Cindy's daughter is attacked by Ghostface and asks for help, but she is ignored by the workers at the place. The woman who yells about her break is Kim Wayans, who is part of the Wayans brothers, the creators of Scary Movie. It is the first time she participates in the saga. She will surely play someone from the Meeks family because her screaming attitude is identical to Brenda's. That's all for today. If you liked the video, you'd really help me out by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also, remember to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.